Hello YouTube, it is Toy Adventures here again with another figure review. Now this one's been kinda late, but I've been having a lot of trouble finding any of these figures. Today we are taking a look at the Godzilla vs. Kong Monsterverse Mechagodzilla with the H-E-A-V. I don't care about the Eve. So these Godzilla figures in general have been quite a pain to find in Walmart. I'm sure a lot of you have had the same issues of just scalpers, horrible people, just coming in and buying up everything they have in stock and then reselling it for such a crazy value online. These are terrible people we're dealing with. You know, they ruin the whole thing for everybody, but they don't care. They're only caring about themselves. Bad people. Don't be like that. If you see that a large amount of rare toys in stock, buy one for yourself, maybe one to keep in package, and leave the rest for the next collectors. That is how you be a good person. So, I managed to find this. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other ones like the Warbat or another Skullcrawler. I just found this and a few other Godzillas. So this is all I picked up, but now at least I finally get to bring a review to it for you guys. So, I already ordered the I pre-ordered the SH Monster Arts version of this figure, but that's not going to be here for a while. So I thought, you know what, I might as well get this one, take a look at it, and show you guys, and maybe use it as like a stand-in for now. Well, here we go. Finally found it. This is Mechagodzilla. Kind of low on the paint apps, but it is a Playmates, you know, mass-produced toy, so I'm not going to expect it to be super crazy. So I think this is the first Godzilla vs. Kong toy I've ever taken a look at. So let's take a look at the packaging. You know, you guys have seen these before. The really nice blue and orange kind of aesthetic going on right now. The other figures in there are the Godzilla with Radio Tower, Kong with Fighter Jet, which I have these three, and the Skullcrawler. And then this is like the second wave where it's Godzilla with the HEV, Warbat, Kong with the Battle Axe. Could never find the Warbat. I could never find him. And I only found one Skullcrawler, I believe. So these are pretty tough to find because, like I said, scalpers are just so, you know, scum. And side of the package, Godzilla vs. Kong, Burning City, la-da-da-da-da. Nothing too great going on here. Nice packaging, but let's go ahead and get rid of it. Alright, so here we have Mechagodzilla out of the packaging. And like always, these things are always way more articulated than I give them credit for. But this one, kind of a little less. And I'll get into that. Well, let's get to it right now. You know, there's not much to take a look at. So let's go ahead and just start off with articulation. How articulated are these Playmate, used to saying Jurassic World. These Playmate Godzilla figures are. So, Mechagodzilla here, starting from the head. You have a hinge down here at the jaw. Goes down about this far. You can chomp up, right back up to the jaw. And then down here at the shoulders, you have a hinge that goes out about that far, goes in about this far, and rotates 360 degrees, no problem. You'll think that there'll be a hinge right here at the elbow, but there is actually nothing, and if you keep messing with it, you are going to break the arm. There is a little bit of stressed plastic on mine because I thought you could have articulation there. So that is pretty tough, and I really don't like that, is that pretty much from the shoulder joint, the entire arm is useless and does nothing. So that is a pretty big bummer. And then moving down here to the thigh, you have a hinge going out about that far. That's pretty crazy for a kick. And then it can go in about that far. And I believe, yep, you have full 360 rotation at the thigh. And then right down here at the hip, another hinge. Goes out about that far, goes back about that far. And then down here at the ankle, I think it just rotates 360 degrees. And then the tail is actually rubber. It's a bendy tail. Not really the kind that holds its position, but the kind that can move wherever you bend it. So, in all, there is a fair amount of articulation in this thing. Nothing great, nothing, you know, amazing, but a fair amount. And paint apps wise, well, it's kind of hard to ever be as paint app accurate as the movie because the movie one was just kind of crazy. Even the Monster Arts, a lot of people are complaining that there's not enough paint on it. This one Obviously, it's not going to have anywhere near as much paint, but it is only like a $9 action figure, so you can't expect too much, am I right? So another gimmick with these is like the dino damage, or I guess, you know, kaiju damage. You can take off a big skin chunk and then put it back on, just like the old Kenner Jurassic Park dinosaurs. That's always awesome to see. Kind of strange to see on a Godzilla line, but it's on the Kong I have as well, so I'm already used to it. So, yeah, not much more else to say about this thing. I mean, design-wise, I'm not too big of a fan of the 2019, I believe. No, 2020 design for Mechagodzilla. I'm just more of a Kiryu fan. It's my favorite Mechagodzilla. It will always be my favorite Mechagodzilla. This one just looks too chaotic to me. There's like too much different shapes and they don't all go together. It just looks really, you know, ragtag put together. Whereas Kiryu has a much more streamlined, elegant looking design. So, not too hot on that. Well, why don't we go ahead and get on straight to size comparisons, because I have quite a bit of figures I can compare to, both the classic vinyl and even Monster Arts. Alright, so, starting us off with size comparisons. We are going to start, oh, look, his legs joints are a little loose, so, yeah, just a little bit. So, first we're going to take a look at an old vinyl Kiryu. This is Kiryu, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. Hello. So, even the old Godzilla vinyl figures kind of dwarf this. This is the 90s Godzilla, I believe. So, these Playmate figures are pretty unusually small at that. Okay, well, there we go. If you really stand him up, he will fit. Just barely, though. That looks pretty good, actually. So, maybe they do work together. It's just a matter of how you stand the figure. Kiryu is still taller, which is epic because he's my favorite. And now we're going to go on to the only other Godzilla versus Kong figure I have, which is Kong here. I have the other version of Kong too, but the same figure, just different head. So they compare pretty well. I guess Mechagodzilla isn't taller than Godzilla. I don't know why, I just always remember it being that way. So that is pretty fitting that they are, you know, in scale together. Now I don't have a Playmates Godzilla, but I do have this, you know, I guess it's almost as good as Playmates Godzilla, the Monster Arts one. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, and it's not looking so good for Mechagodzilla. Oh wait, now it is. Okay, now it is. Once again, you have to get him standing proper, but his tail, since it's a bendy wire and it not the kind that bends into place, the ability to stand is kind of hindered because it always wants to push back into the straight form and not be curved and allow it to stand like Godzilla. So that is kind of a annoying little factor. As you can see, the tail always wants to go back to its straight form, and every time you bend it, it's just going to keep trying to go back. So when you try and stand it and it needs to be curved while it's standing, it will go back and push the figure forward, which is annoying. Another case of really great ideas, not so great execution. People have great ideas, but they don't necessarily put them in the figure correctly, or overestimate or underestimate something, and it ends up not working as I intended. So, good comparison here. And then first, just for fun, I brought in another Kiryu, my favorite Kiryu, my SH Monster Arts Kiryu. And yeah, this dude does not stand a chance against my boy. Look at that. So that's pretty much all I have for size comparisons. My overall thoughts on this figure: it is a good toy, certainly a good toy. I like this one. I like the big one. But for a major collector, unless you're like a completionist and you have to have all the Godzilla toys, I don't know if I would go with this one over the Monster Arts one, because this one kind of has its issues. The only real benefit is that it's rare and it is a cheaper alternative. I do like it for that. I mean, as a toy for kids, this is absolutely perfect. But, you know, putting on the collector goggles, this is, you know, subpar, to be brutally honest. It just, the main issue is its tail and its loose joints in its legs. That could be, you know, at least the legs part could definitely be just with mine. So I'll kind of you know, give it some slack on that. But the tail issue I know is throughout all of them, so that is kind of a weird issue. It's not like a deal breaker in any means, but it is annoying for posing, which is the big thing I like to do with my figures, is pose them and take pictures. So that kind of sucks. The no articulation in the arms is another kind of bummer. So it is really just a toy. It's not a substitute for any collectors, and well, at least, you know, those that like to pose their figures. It's no substitute. I'd say wait for the Monster Arts, or you know, just get this in the meantime. It is only $9. You're not making a big investment at all. But I would say if you're choosing a definitive Mechagodzilla, don't even look at this one. Just go straight to the Monster Arts. It'll have better articulation, better ability to stand. I mean, Monster Arts abilities to stand are nuts. Especially this Kiryu, who can pull off all kinds of like crazy, you know, off the tail poses without any issue. So Monster Arts knows what they're doing when it comes to stability. Playmates, well, it's hard to say they don't, because a lot of their figures are just fine. It's just this guy and this weird rubbery tail. I don't have any of the Godzillas, so I don't know if they have this issue too. You guys can go ahead and let me know down in the comments if they do. But yeah, that has pretty much been it for my review on the Mechagodzilla. I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.5 out of 5. It has a lot of issues, but it's also really nice. Oh yeah, we forgot to take a look at the heave. This is just that little vehicle that can launch from the top of the earth and then flip around and do all kinds of crazy stuff and then land in the middle of the earth. Alright, we've taken a look at the heave. Anyway, guys, so for the next review, I have all of the Jurassic World, what are these called? Fierce Force? It's the whole line of these guys. That is what is up next for review-wise. And I also have Halo stuff if you want me to take a look at that. I have the Gun Goose, the Shade Turret. Go ahead and let me know if you guys want to see that. But other than that, guys, that is going to be it. This has been Toy Adventures, signing out.